Minecraft Legends was an ambitious concept that built upon the foundation of the most successful game ever made, using the Minecraft name to create something truly special. So after 5 years in development, and with one of the greatest real-time strategy game developers behind it, Minecraft's most ambitious spin-off project was ready to be released to the masses. But fast forward just 2 weeks after launch, and fewer than 10% of players remained. Today, the game can't even hold 50 players on Steam. How did Minecraft Legends fail so spectacularly, and what went wrong? Well, to tell the story of Minecraft Legends and its epic failure, we need to start by giving a bit of history about how this game came to fruition and the studio that developed it. This story starts with a seemingly unrelated company called Relic Entertainment, which was established in May of 1997. This studio became known for a few different successful real-time strategy game franchises such as Homeworld, Dawn of War, and Company of Heroes. Each of these releases saw massive critical acclaim over the years, usually landing at least a 9 out of 10 with critics and even some 10 out of 10s. Relic Entertainment were clearly masters at creating real-time strategy games. So, as a result, THQ bought them out for $10 million on April 27th of 2004. 3 years later, in 2007, Rob Cunningham and Aaron Kambitz, founding members of Relic, departed the company to pursue other ventures. And in August of 2010, they formed a new company called Blackbird Interactive and managed to recruit some experienced staff from other studios like EA Canada to help them get off the ground with their first game. It was a really promising start to the company, and the studio immediately got to work on a title that would become a spiritual successor to the Homeworld franchise that they worked on while at Relic Entertainment. Early on, they reached out to THQ to see if there was interest in the project, but with how small the company was and with what little they had to show at that point, THQ brushed them off. This would change a few years later when THQ ended up going bankrupt and had to sell off a bunch of IPs, including Homeworld. Blackbird attempted to bid for the Homeworld franchise, but without a single released game to its name, Gearbox Software easily outbid them. This put the two companies in touch, and eventually it was decided that Gearbox would publish Blackbird's current project and include it as a spin-off to the official Homeworld franchise. It was finally released to the public on December 16, 2015, under the name Homeworld Deserts of Karak, and it released a month later on January 20th, 2016. And after that whole fiasco, the game turned out to be kind of lukewarm. It wasn't a bad game by any means, but for the $50 price point, only having an 8-hour campaign was pretty disappointing. With no real track record of successful game launches, their next project ended up being a collaboration with NASA, where they created the visuals for an interactive tour of what a Mars base could look like. And then, on November 1st, 2019, Blackbird announced that they had contributed to the development of Minecraft Earth, a strange combination of Minecraft and Pokemon Go, which ultimately shut down on June 30th, 2021 due to the pandemic. This one could be another story in and of itself, so let me know in the comments if you'd like to learn more about Minecraft Earth's failure as well. And if you're enjoying this video, consider subscribing. We have dozens of videos just like this on the channel. Anyways, Blackbird Interactive released their next title, Hard Space Shipbreaker, on June 18th, 2020, and fully launched on May 24th, 2022. People seemed to like this game, and it was the first time that Blackbird popped up on the radar for a lot of gamers. Hard Space Shipbreaker was pretty solid. But this was in stark contrast to the other title that Blackbird released into early access around this time. The same day that Hardspace left early access on May 24th, 2022, Crossfire Legion entered it. This was their other latest and greatest release, and it was just bad. The studio's early experience with real-time strategy games like Homeworld and Company of Heroes didn't seem to carry over into their modern projects, and with a portfolio of average games under their belt, it seemed like Blackbird was bound to be a mediocre, forgettable studio. But then, out of nowhere, their biggest opportunity to date would enter the scene. This opportunity would require a significant amount of manpower and focus, as it involved one of the biggest and most successful IPs in gaming history. And in order for the developers to remain focused, they needed good sleep. So let's hope they're like me and are a big fan of the sponsor of today's video, Manta Sleep. Sleeping in the dark sounds like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how much a little bit of light affects your sleep. A 2022 study from the University of San Diego found that just a small level of light in your sleeping environment could disrupt your metabolism, cause you to be more tired in the morning, and increase your risk of chronic illness. Manta produces extremely high-quality, comfortable sleep masks that completely block out any and all light and allow you to sleep so much better. I've been using the Manta Sleep Pro for nearly a year now, and let me tell you, it is a complete game changer. The C-shaped eye cups allow for you to sleep on your side with no issue, and the way that the cups fit make it so that you have zero pressure on your eyelids or lashes. Manta has a lot of options, with masks with speakers in them, weighted masks, silk masks, and so many others. If you're looking to improve your sleep and feel better, or to get a solid gift for a family member around the holidays, check out Manta Sleep by using my link in the description below. They're having a massive sale from November 29th to December 3rd, 2024, so now is a great time to upgrade your sleep. Plus, if you use code ROBOCASH, you can get 10% off your order. Thanks again to Manta Sleep for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to our story about Minecraft Legends. Minecraft Legends was a collaboration between Blackbird Interactive and Mojang, with Blackbird doing a bulk of the development and Mojang overseeing them. The start of its history can be traced back to early 2018, where the project was first conceived under the codename Project Badger. Because of this, Jeb, the famous Minecraft developer, actually wore a Badger shirt for that year's Minecraft Live broadcast as a bit of a joke between employees, since the game had yet to be announced. Other subtle signs of the game's development taking place was the introduction of piglins in the Nether update, which replaced zombie pigmen. The mobs were partly conceptualized for Minecraft Legends, but were beloved enough to make it into vanilla Minecraft as well. One of this new game's objectives was to be something that could be enjoyed both by existing Minecraft fans and completely new players alike. Apart from that though, there really isn't a lot of information on the game's early development. Unlike Mojang, Blackbird tends to be rather quiet about their in-development projects. So most of Minecraft Legends' development cycle was completely under the radar, and we don't know much about what was going on behind the scenes during this time. But on April 18th, 2023, the game would release and we would quickly learn that Minecraft Legends was yet another underwhelming game from Blackbird. So what exactly was the idea here? Well, Minecraft Legends was a legend told by the Minecraft villagers in the main game of a player trying to save a village from invading piglins. A weird concept indeed, but it seems like Mojang and Blackbird did have a vision here. The gameplay itself was relatively similar to other real-time strategy games. The goal was to build and manage an army while creating structures like bridges and ramps to help your army traverse the map, while also managing a well-defended base. There were walls to block off enemies, a variety of towers to shoot at enemies, and a lot of structures that buffed other structures. You could lead up to a few dozen mobs into battle, with unique abilities for each. The various golems dealt extra damage to certain things, and other mobs had differing methods of attack, such as skeletons shooting arrows from afar and creepers exploding on command. A very typical RTS experience, but with the charm and world building of Minecraft, a cel-shaded aesthetic, and tons of lovingly crafted animations with thoughtful touches. There were even quite a few gorgeous cinematics too, which were surprisingly long. It looked like a great game on the surface, but the flashy graphics and the fact that the game piggybacked on Minecraft's IP were the only things that really made it interesting at all. In fact, in pure RTS terms, Minecraft Legends did neither the action nor the strategy parts of the game very well. Ultimately, Legends has wound up with a style of combat that serves both action and strategy poorly. It requires intense micromanagement without actual strategic depth, said PC Gamer upon the game's release, noting this strategy portion of the game was more like a never-ending escort mission than anything else, which was pretty damning to say the least. The AI army that you led, which was one of the main mechanics of the game, was frustratingly stupid, somehow managing to get stuck on walls and fall off bridges and ramps. The enemy AI wasn't very intelligent either, with piglins mindlessly charging at your defenses and never adapting to your strategy or becoming more intelligent over the course of the campaign. They wouldn't even react to key parts of their defenses getting destroyed and would just keep coming at you no matter what you did. Minecraft Legends required no strategy and was extremely easy, which is problematic for a real-time strategy game. In fact, the game was so easy that you really didn't even need to strategize at all. You could simply enact the same plan every step of the way. Build a giant circle of walls around the area you're defending with some shooty towers, then throw mobs at the piglins until they fall over and you win. But even if the game did find a way to become more challenging, there still weren't any tools available to mix up your strategy and keep the gameplay interesting. You couldn't dig under a piglin base to bypass their defenses, you couldn't recruit spiders to climb over enemy walls, and you couldn't build vertical defenses since there was no kind of floor structure in the game. For a franchise centered around creativity and self-expression, it barely gave you any options. And for something that's supposed to be based on Minecraft, none of the shared creatures and world-building mechanics in the game aligned with the ones that have been in Minecraft for over a decade. It just felt odd, and it seemed as if they were only using the Minecraft name as a way to sell more copies of an otherwise underwhelming game. Perhaps these things could have been forgiven if there was a lot to do, but the campaign only lasted around 15 hours at most, and the game had nothing to offer afterwards except for a PvP game mode and a single Lost Legend mini-campaign where you fight 20 waves of piglins. The $40 price tag was simply way too high for what the game offered, and it came in at double the cost of Minecraft Dungeons, a game that had significantly more replay value with its procedural elements and extra difficulty settings. And of course, it still costs $10 more than the actual Minecraft, which is one of the most replayable games ever made. It was already a bad look to charge more for a spin-off than the game that it was based off of, but there wasn't even an attempt to make it worth that price. And as another slap to the face, the game had microtransactions too, borrowing Minecraft Bedrock Edition's Minecoin features to buy various cosmetics. Predictably, all of this resulted in a rather lukewarm reception from fans. Only 59% of the Steam reviews were positive, landing the game a mixed status. Critics weren't a fan either, with PC Gamer and Games Radar Plus both rating the game a 5 out of 10. Despite this, Minecraft Legends did manage to sell over 3 million copies in only 10 days according to the game's official Twitter account, making it a financial success. On launch day, it had over 5,000 concurrent players, although it didn't exactly keep any around, with over 80% of them dropping the game after the first week alone. Compared to Minecraft Dungeons, or heck, nearly any game for that matter, it was hemorrhaging players. Minecraft Legends would quickly be forgotten unless the developers took steps to fix the issues plaguing the game, and it seemed as if they would do that through regular updates following the launch, so maybe they would be able to salvage this mess and turn Minecraft Legends into something amazing. The first update to the game came a month after launch on May 18th, with the debut of the second Lost Legend, a free mini-campaign that unlocked a unique skin upon completion. It failed to bring virtually any players back, leaving the game with less than 200 concurrent players on Steam only a month after its release. More of these updates would come out every following month, all available for free. Things were slowly getting better, but it was doing nothing for the player count. People just simply didn't care about this game. So the developers decided to release a new game mode on July 25th called Myths. These were community-made minigames that you had to purchase using Minecoins, totaling to about $6 per minigame, and one of them actually cost over $10. These myths were okay, but charging money for how little they offered, while the game was still overpriced and unfinished, was ridiculous. So of course, the reception to this update wasn't exactly great. The next noteworthy update wouldn't take place until August 17th, 4 months after the game had come out. And with this one, there was finally an attempt to address a lot of the core issues with the game. It brought AI improvements, an improved banner view mode to give more control over units, a new custom campaign and versus options, and a number of quality of life improvements. It was an admirable step to improve the game, but it came far too late and failed to address the many other issues with Minecraft Legends. Following this update, the player count was fewer than 50 on Steam. For a game that was in development for multiple years and branded under the umbrella of the most successful video game of all time, it was mind-blowing to only have a few dozen players just months after releasing. Obviously, this doesn't cover every platform, but the numbers alone speak for themselves. This project was a complete disaster. So it was pretty clear at this point. The game was screwed and nothing was going to save it short of a massive overhaul. The developers needed to sit back, redesign Minecraft Legends from the ground up, and strategize to create something that was actually worth the insane price point and the legacy of the franchise that it pulled from. I mean, it makes sense, right? Put some work in, and the game could be good, if not great. What came next was unsurprisingly more of the same. New monthly Lost Legends, and a new batch of myths that each cost $6 and were even more disappointing than the previous ones. One of them was literally just chess. A shakeup did come with an update on November 28th, where new content was finally introduced to the base game, with big new features like recruitable witches, a new structure, a frog mount, and piglin bases receiving a couple of new threats. And that short list was advertised as the largest update to the game. It was also the second to last update, with the 9th and final Lost Legend arriving on January 10th, along with the abrupt announcement that all development on the game was ending. Minecraft Legends had officially died just 9 months after its initial launch. For the past year, the game has only managed to break 50 concurrent players a few times, an embarrassing number for one of the biggest franchises in gaming history. I know you can say that, most people are playing the game on Game Pass, but I promise you, if normal Minecraft launched on Steam, it would still sell millions of copies. Blackbird Interactive has gone on to release Homeworld 3 as of May 13th, 2024. And just like Minecraft Legends, this title was also a complete joke of a game, with many fans upset over the $60 price tag, a short, poorly written campaign, little replayability, and DRM on top of it all. Somehow it's fared even worse than Minecraft Legends, with the game sitting at a mostly negative on Steam. In the past year and a half, Blackbird had suffered 3 whole rounds of layoffs, and their reputation for creating mediocre, uninspired, and lazy games is starting to catch up with them. It seems they've learned at least a little bit from their past mistakes, as their upcoming title is called Earthless and will be a roguelike deck builder rather than another real-time strategy title, which is probably for the best given how all 4 of their past RTS games have reviewed. It goes on to show that even though some of Blackbird's key staff came from Relic Entertainment, one of the masters of the RTS genre, it doesn't mean that they were the masterminds responsible for the beloved classics. Minecraft Legends is a weird blip on the radar of failed games, a high-budget spin-off for the most successful game ever made, with no players, no supporters, and no interest whatsoever. The fact that they managed to fumble this opportunity so badly is quite surprising, but that's what happens when every game has the urge to become a franchise. Did you ever play Minecraft Legends? Did you keep up with it at all during its troubled launch? What were your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and join my Discord by visiting the link in the description. It's a fun place to just hang out and chat, and it's super casual, so I'd love to see you there. I will see you guys next time, and peace.